Well, Janelle, Kyle Richards is talking about her quitting the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Apparently, she said she's dunzos. We also have the Traitors. Dorinda Medley was just on Jimmy Fallon. So we'll get into the latest episode of the Traitors. Spoilers ahead. Mary Cosby talks about the tabloids threatening to out her son. Justin Baldoni parties it up on a beach amid all the Blake Lively lawsuit drama. Lots to dive into. I hope you're ready for it. Let's get it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, guys? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. I got on my Jax Taylor chunky sweater. Look at that, boom. But Ozempic makes Kyle look 20 years older. Listen, here's the thing with Ozempic. Thank you for Stacy in the live chat. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Stacy's mom, or Stacy. The thing with Ozempic is if you do it too much. I have friends that are on Ozempic, and I'm like, yo, homie, you gotta calm it down and chill out that Ozempic, because it will give you that like Ozempic face, which gives you that like sunken in face. Like with me, right? I used to be really heavy as a teenager, lost a lot of weight, not the healthy way. Then I became really, really skinny and I was underweight and I was like obsessed, and I, was bulimic and anorexic and had to go into a treatment center and do that whole thing in my early 20s. But when I lost a lot of that weight, the volume in my face just like completely diminished. And I had like really deep smile lines and really deep under eyes, because I had lost a lot of weight. And it's hard to put that fat back in your face. Sometimes that's why as people age, you'll see them like take fat out of like their butt or their thighs and then inject it into their face. You need a little buccal fat in your face. Yeah, that's the other thing is people get the buccal fat removal so that way they can have like the popping cheekbones. Listen, get yourself a good little roller. I use the Skinny Confidential roller to kind of just like sharpen the jaw. You can do a little Botox to fix that up. What really helped for me though, one was putting on a little weight, because I went from like the 130s. Now I'm 155, 156, but it's because I actively have been going to the gym and trying to put on muscle. So I've tried to like put weight back on. That has helped, but also filler. I had to get filler in my face because I was so sunken in. And even I went to Dr. Jen Armstrong, and even and then I ended up getting like too much filler put in my face. Then I like waited to like let it dissolve. And to this day, the last time I got filler was June 2023. We're now in January 2025, and I don't think that the filler has fully dissolved, and that's why my face doesn't look fully deflated. But yeah, listen, like losing weight and Ozempic, like it will give you that Ozempic face where you do look fully sunken in, and it's not a cute look. Yeah. So sorry, that was a bit of a tangent that I didn't mean to go on first first thing on the podcast on what a Tuesday morning. I was up in the gym. I was listening to Heidi Montag. She has a new song out. It's called Prototype. So good. Heidi Montag has been on a repeat in my mind, on a repeat. We love it. We love it. We love it. But listen, I've been living. Dr. Jen Armstrong does a fabulous job on her clients. It's more natural. Yes, I do love Dr. Jen Armstrong. I have to go in for a touch, at least a Botox touch-up, because I feel like my face, the wrinkles in my face. I went to get a massage last week. Shout out Travis Fields. I don't know if he's taking new clients or what, but I'd injured my hip. And so I went in to get like some work done on my hip, and he like really helped get the kinks out. So shout out to Travis. Maybe I'll tag him. I'll see if he's taking new clients, and if he is and how to book him, I'll make sure I let him be the guiding post. But it was good. And he was reading my face because he does Chinese ancient medicine. And he's just like, oh my God, the wrinkles in your face, they tell you a lot. And he's like, the wrinkles in your forehead. Listen, this is good lighting and good makeup and all that stuff. But like, I do when I don't have Botox. My eyes get a little whatever. But yeah, and he was telling me about all the different wrinkles in your face are different telling points about like what you've been through in your past and all this stuff. So he was saying like, ooh, the hardest time in your life was in your 20s and you've overcome that. And I can see it in the wrinkles on your forehead. And I was like, oh. And then he was telling me what all the different frown lines and stuff mean. It was very fascinating. I loved it. And then he made me strip down and then he worked on my hip. So I was like, okay, booking another appointment. Let's go. Okay, Kyle Rich, where do we want to start? Because we got a lot to get into today. I'm some people are like complaining, like it's too much Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. I'm over it, blah, 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 blah. And so people are being all drama about it. So I was like, maybe we should like balance it up and not do an entire Blake Lively episode. We'll do a little catch up on Baldoni because he was just spotted on the beach and he's looking mighty, mighty fine. What a man, what a man, what a mighty good man, a mighty good man. It's just that he's Hawaii. And he's just living his best life. And I was like, okay, Justin Baldoni. People are like, oh, I was talking to another podcaster yesterday. Right? Yeah. Yesterday. And she was like, did you see the photos of Justin Baldoni? And I was like, I did. She's like, tell me that wasn't a paparazzi tip off. And I was like, it absolutely sounds like a paparazzi. Listen, the paparazzi are not hanging out in, they're not hanging out in Hawaii. They're just not. They're not like on the island of Maui, and they're just like, oh, let's see if we can just go to this random beach and see if we can find Justin Baldoni hanging out there. Wouldn't that be crazy? What a coinkydink. Well, no coinkydinks here because that's just not like paparazzi in Jersey, even paparazzi in New York sometimes. Like that's very rare. Like paparazzi culture, they're not in OC, they're not in Jersey. So a lot of these housewives that you see when the paparazzi are like just catching them going out and getting the mail or whatever they're doing, it's very rare the paparazzi are waiting outside their house unless they're enthralled in like a really big scandal. It's just not happening. So just be forewarned when you see these things. These are usually paparazzi plants. And I think Justin Baldoni is fully leaning into his paparazzi moment. He's like, I am being loved right now. I'm sure his PR team, I don't know if it's Jennifer Abel, I don't know if it's Melissa Nathan, but somebody is working overtime to ensure that Justin Baldoni is getting lots of good coverage. And I'm not going to lie. If you look at the photos, he looks hot. Like, he looks good. Like, I get why Blake Lively would cheat on Ryan Reynolds to be with Justin Baldoni. Who do we think is hotter, Justin Baldoni or Ryan Reynolds? But this headline in Us Weekly says, shirtless Justin Baldoni enjoys a family vacation in Hawaii amid Blake Lively lawsuit drama. By Yana. Thank you, Yana, at Us Weekly for putting this out there. So, you mean they call them? Yeah, listen, most of the time, I would say more often than not, when the paparazzi is catching somebody, okay. I would say maybe 15 to 20% of the time are the paparazzi catching people organically, right? 15 to 20% of the time. The other times it's one of two things. Either they're being tipped off, either by said celebrity, by their publicist, by their team, by their manager, by someone, right? Somebody is intentionally tipping them off about, where they're going to be. I guess 3 different scenarios. One, somebody tips them off about where they're going to be because they know their schedule and they know they're going to be at Erewhon on Melrose, or somebody spots them and tips off the paparazzi, and then the paparazzi show up and catch them leaving. Or 3, they go somewhere like Craig's that is a celebrity hotspot. So, yeah, it's one of those 3 things. It's either a celeb hotspot, it's a tip off from their team, or it's a tip off from somebody that sees them there. Very rarely does somebody see them there and then they end up showing up and are able to catch them, because usually by the time they get tipped off and then show up, that's not always a realistic time frame for them to do that. But yeah, that's I don't believe that these are organic. I don't think they just randomly happened upon Justin Baldoni in Hawaii. Because if you think about it, then the paparazzi would have to follow Baldoni, and they would have to see where he's going, and they would have to follow him to LAX, and then they would have to see what plane he's on, and then they would have to know, oh, he's going to Hawaii. Okay, he's going to Hawaii. Let's send a reporter out there. Let's contact a local reporter so that they can get photos of Justin Baldoni. It's just, I don't believe that these are organic photos. Jay Brimble says Justin is more of an attractive guy and Ryan has more of a boyish look. Ryan Reynolds has moments, right? Like, he has these moments where he's kind of cute and like we're kind of feeling the vibe. But outside of that, I feel like I'm gonna go more Justin Baldoni. He just, I'm like, yes. Like just, let's get real feminist on this. Let's roll around in the feminist sheets. Let's dismantle toxic masculinity together. Let's roll around and roll all the toxic masculinity out of each other. Jessica said, I was listening to Juicy Scoop and she was off on the lawsuit that everyone in the comments was saying that she needs to listen to you and Daily Dose of Donna for the correct information on the lawsuit. Well, I am going to be on Juicy Scoop next week. On Monday. Yeah. Monday, I tape it on Monday. I believe it comes out maybe Tuesday, the 28th. I don't know. I'll be on Juicy Scoop next week. Just know that. And I'm also on Hot Takes and Deep Dives this week. My friend Jess, we dive into how to capitalize off of a Hollywood scandal like Blake and Baldoni, or like Tom and Erica, or like Sandoval. So it's a good episode. You learn a lot of insider tips and tricks about the tickety talk and the algorithms and the YouTubes and all that stuff, and how to stay relevant. So that's a Baldoni update. Let's talk about Kyle Richards, because oh God, goodbye, Kyle. So Kyle Richards is opening up about quitting Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because apparently we didn't know this, but apparently, sorry, people are going off in the group text right now, and I'm like, I'm not getting involved. Apparently, Kyle Richards quit Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after this week, the taping of this week, where we see them go to the spot. Sorry, I don't know why I had a little lisp and now like we see them go to the spot, and we see Kyle, I guess, all the women are like, show us the text messages with you and PK. And finally, she's like, okay, fine, I'll read you and I'll show you the text messages. And she freaks out, and then she storms off crying. And she's like, I'm over it. Apparently, after that scene, she quit the show for a whole week and she did not film. She said the production was relatively supportive of her taking a bit of a break. Kyle is the star of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so she's going to get a little more of a gracious treatment. But yeah, she said that she quit for a whole week. She didn't film. The other women were very upset about that. They said that when she comes back, they're definitely going to hold her accountable. They're going to hold her accountable for taking this time off, yada, yada, yada. So it's like, dang, Zack, dang it, 1 week. Yeah, she quit for a whole week. She needed to get her mind right. She needed to get back on track. She needed to make sure her headspace was in the right space before taking it off of my space. My space. So there you go. Kyle Richards has survived the reckoning of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I was actually shocked that she came back this season. I was shocked that she came back after the Aspen season, Lisa Rinna's last season. Remember, with the Kathy and all the drama there. I didn't think that Kyle was going to come back. I still, every season, I'm kind of shocked that she's coming back at all, because she doesn't need the show anymore at this point. But she says that she ultimately came back to the show because she needed a distraction from all of the turmoil of her separation from Mauricio, and seeing him all around town. And he's, hanging out with all these little TikTokers and doing all the damn things. So she says that she just, one, needed the break from the show, but needed to get back into filming and get back into production because she needed to keep her mind off of things, which I kind of get. That's all she has left. So I understand why she's holding on to the show. Kids are grown and out of the house. Mauricio's out of the house. He's done. Marriage is done. And so her identity of being a wife and being a mom, it's done, And so I think all she has left is this show. But I feel like as you bring in more newbies, I feel like she's kind of fading out of the show. You kind of feel like Kyle, Dorit, Erica, they're kind of on an island. Like Erica's the only one that still is like trying to force an effort with the rest of the ladies. Garcelle, Sutton, we now have Bose. But like Sutton, Garcelle, and Bose don't feel like Beverly Hills. Like they're the newbies, right? They're the next era. They're next gen Beverly Hills, but they're not the old school Beverly Hills. So that's why I feel like there's often that disconnect as housewives continue to, you know, not age out, but as the shows continue to go on and on and on, and they begin cycled out with new cast members like OC. I think part of the reason OC started to come back, and it was a little it struggled for a minute, and then they brought back Heather, and then they brought back Tamara, and then they brought back Alexis. And I think it's because people have this invested interest, this vested emotion into these women that we've known and watched for so many years, that's why the show was ultimately able to kind of thrive, because we knew Alexis already, we knew Shannon, we knew Heather, we knew Tamara. At this point, we now know Gina and Emily. And so I just don't feel like Garcelle and Sutton are Beverly Hills. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is just like that. Like, Sutton has the money for it, but I don't know. She's good on the show, but she's not the star of the show. And it's interesting to see the audience really kind of turn on her. But Queen Kyle lives on. She came back. She quit. She left. She was done. And then she said the producers were very happy and supportive of her taking some time off for her mental health. And then she got back into the swing of things. Brittany says, why is Nick Viall so Team Blake? And I think it's a wrong move, because I think a lot of us are starting to not go with what will help our image, but what is right regarding the election. I don't know what the election and Nick Viall and Blake and Baldoni have to do with any of it, but I don't know why Nick Viall is so Team Blake either. It's weird. I don't listen to his show. All I know is that people tell me are the clips that I've seen on social media. So I'm not entirely sure why he's so. I've just seen him, and I've seen some of the stupid comments like people on his show have said too, like, it's black and white. It's black and white. And I'm like, no, ding dong. It's actually not black and white. It's very, very gray. It's very nuanced. It's very layered, right? Anyone can make any allegation in a civil lawsuit or a civil complaint, which is how this started. Not even an official lawsuit, but a civil complaint. Anybody can allege anything. It doesn't have to make it true. I can file a civil lawsuit tomorrow and say Joe Schmo down the street punched me in the face, right? Or I can say so-and-so sexually harassed me, and I can file a lawsuit against them. Does that mean I have a claim? Does that mean that I'm telling the truth? No to neither. Now, why people would abuse that system is a separate question, right? But unfortunately, we've seen that system get abused, and they've screwed it up for other people. And that's just kind of where we're at, unfortunately. So Nick Viall just has bad vibes about Justin Baldoni. There is something in Baldoni that clearly triggers Nick Viall. Maybe it's because Baldoni tries to dismantle toxic masculinity, and Nick Viall, it leans into his, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But there's clearly something about Baldoni that Viall does not like and is triggered by. That's why he has this blind loyalty just to Blake. It's weird. Anybody that reads through any of the documents and looks at any of the receipts that are put in these court documents, it does definitely feel like Blake was the one with the upper hand. She's the one with the power on set, and she definitely flexed her weight. And it seems like this is another attempt for her to flex her weight and try to sink Baldoni's battleship as much as she can. And it's unfortunately not working, because he came and he got the bazooka out and he's like, let's go. I'm ready. So I don't know what Viall's whole thing is. Let's see. Kenzie said all of the ladies are single, so we should see them partying it up, and now we got to watch them go to Chuck E. Cheese. Listen, they want to make it budget friendly for Garcelle. JK, LOL. Listen, I always have to pick somebody to throw a little shade towards every season. But yeah, the Chuck E. Cheese thing was so dumb. Like, the fact that, Erica, I guess, was a good sport, but like, come on. Really? If I got taken to Chuck E. Cheese, like, I would probably smile and not give them the reaction that they want from me. But also at the same time, in my head, I'd be like, what the actual fuck? Like, Chuck E. Cheese isn't even good pizza. They don't even have cocktails at Chuck E. Cheese. So I'm just kind of like, the Chuck E. Cheese thing was dumb. Oh my goodness. Nicole says, good morning. I respect your political views since they are well thought out and based on fact. With that being said, I'm interested. Okay, here we go. Listen, it's kind of hard to reject a super chat when Nicole comes in here and drop in a 99.99 super chat. So Nicole's like, I'm gonna give you $100 bill right here. I'm gonna slip it on the table and I'm gonna ask you this question. So let's see what this question is, because I haven't finished reading it. Good morning, Nicole says, I respect your political view since they are well thought out and based on fact. With that being said, I'm interested. Oh, if I can already see the rest of the question. I'm interested in your thoughts about Trump trying to pass a law where there are only two genders, male and female, and they are determined at birth. Nicole, why are you trying to get me canceled right now? Um, okay. I know that obviously yesterday was inauguration day, right? And a lot of people have a lot of feelings. I understand that not everybody's going to agree necessarily. I spoke out about the TikTok ban over the weekend, and I was like, this is going to be a really weird juxtaposition for people to kind of compartmentalize or digest because essentially the headline is Trump saves TikTok, right? And so a lot of people have come up with this argument about how, well, Trump is the one that started all of this, and this was always his grand master plan, yada yada yada. And I was like, well, but he was in office 5 years ago, right? And like, yes, he may have spearheaded that plan, but we had another administration that came in that could have kiboshed this, right? That could have put this all to rest and did not. Instead, we had, the Supreme Court and we had Biden sign an executive order to uphold the ban of TikTok. So if anybody could have stopped it, it was the administration that had just exited, right? So, I don't think Trump planned on not winning the 2020 election because he considered it fraud. And so I think this was not his grand master plan, was to lose the election in 2020 and to have Biden come into office and then agree with him by signing an executive order to uphold the ban only for Trump to be able to come in and save the day. Like, I don't think he thought this plan out 5 years down the line, which is now where we're at in 2025. So, to an extent, like, I support the TikTok app being owned by the US, right? I do think that the way that China has the TikTok algorithm, which is what makes it so great, there is a level of privacy that we don't have with TikTok. That unfortunately that's what screwed up like the Instagram algorithm, or Meta altogether had to abide by these, privacy. We had to make sure we weren't infringing upon people's privacy. And so that's where TikTok has an advantage, and they can really curate the algorithm. And so I spoke out about that, and I was like, listen, you have to thank Trump for, the TikTok, not the TikTok ban, but the saving of TikTok, right? Because he is trying to make sure that there's a sale. Biden did not secure a sale. Biden did sign an executive order to uphold the ban. I think Biden signed that executive order with the intention of trying to secure the sale before Inauguration Day so that he could take credit for the sale of TikTok coming to the US. And obviously now Trump signed an executive order extending it another 75 days. Now, the only reason I bring this up, because this is divvying from the question, which I will answer in a second, is because I posted about that. And then now I've started to see some of my own friends, respond to that. And like, and so it came down to this, thing of we just don't see things the same way. And that's okay, right? Like, we're going to have different viewpoints, and that doesn't make my viewpoint right or wrong or your viewpoint right or wrong. We just see these issues very differently. And I think, it's very hard to be pigeonholed into a liberal or conservative or red or blue, Republican or Democrat box, because at the end of the day, we are multifaceted people with different values and different priorities and different, ideas of how we think we can make our country better. So, with that being said, we are going to view these issues differently. And I think at the end of the day, we all want the same things, right? We want our economy to thrive. We want people to feel, safe in this country. We want to make sure we bring crime down. We want to make sure that there are checks and balances, law and order, and make sure that our justice system is protecting the American people. We want to make sure that people are able to live the American dream and still be able to come over and, build that American dream that we've sold to not just the American people, but that we've sold to other people. Our country is built on a land of immigrants, right? And so I think that that's a great thing. I do think immigration should be stricter. I do think that we got a little too lax and a little too, the borders got a little too open, and we do need to kind of resecure to make sure that the resources that we have here are, we're able to meet the needs of the people that are living here and that are building a life here and that are citizens of, the USA. And I do believe that we should absolutely continue to invite immigrants in here to build that American dream for sure. But I do think we need to have stricter policies because I think we opened the borders a little too much. Now, when it comes to gender, because I know this is a really big issue as well, personally, for me, I respect everybody's personal decisions, right? What they want to do with their life, what they want to do with their body. I respect that. The same way if a woman is of age and she wants to get a boob job or a nose job and she wants to have cosmetic or plastic surgery, I support her choice to do that, right? However, um I do think if we're going back to science and biology, and I know that this is not the popular take, but I do believe that your gender, your sex, I see gender and sex as the same. So to me, gender and sex are assigned at birth based off of your chromosomes and based off of your genitalia. I don't think that it's meant to. I think that we can deconstruct some of the gender norms. I think that we can absolutely, bend what those norms. I have, feminine qualities. I can be effeminate at times. You know, I wear tinted moisturizer. I fill in my brows a bit. There are things that um, I lean into that are not traditional male characteristics, right? However, I still identify as a man, as a male, because that's what I was assigned at birth based off of my chromosomes and my body, And so I do believe that there are only two genders. I don't believe, um, based off of my viewpoint of gender, right? And viewpoint and I equate gender and sex as the same thing. Does that mean I have no respect for people that have a different gender identity because they view gender differently? Not at all. I respect whatever you want. Do I understand why people want to use they, them pronouns? Fuck no. Is it kind of annoying to me? Sure. Do I want to disrespect them? No. I will respect you and your life choices and the lifestyle that you embrace. Absolutely. I think this is a free country where you're allowed to do that. However, I am not against the, you know, law that acknowledges two genders, male and female. I don't, because again, to me, my viewpoint of gender is the same as my viewpoint of sex. Not everybody's going to agree with that. I understand that. Some people may not like that. Some people may be very angry with me about that. And that's okay, right? I still have love and respect to everyone that agrees with me or disagrees with me, that sees my viewpoint or doesn't see my viewpoint. That's just kind of where I stand with it, you know? Um, so I hope that answers your question, Nicole. Was not looking to get political today, but when you send $100 super chat, it's a little hard to kind of ignore that. And listen, you guys know I always will be honest and answer questions as honestly as I can. So yeah, it's just, let trans people exist. Yeah, I absolutely think trans people exist. I believe them. I support them. I will, fight for their rights. I don't want anybody to lose their rights in the US. I don't think not acknowledging your biological gender, because again, if we want to get back to believing science and believing biology, and then I do think science and biology are very clear that we do only have two genders. That's my personal viewpoint, right? I understand people don't see it that way and feel differently. I get that. I understand that. I respect that. And I send nothing but love to the people that don't see my viewpoint, that don't agree with me, or that may hate me for that. That is totally okay. I put myself on the internet and I open myself up to that criticism, and I take it on the chin every single day, right? I signed up for this. I open my mouth. I run my mouth. I also try to be as good of a person as I can be. And I have respect and love to everybody, right? Love all my brothers and sisters. As the Bible said, love thy brother, love thy sister, love thy neighbor, which I do. Whether you're trans, whether you're male, female, whatever it is, I support you and I support your decision to live your life however you want to live your life. And that's all I got, you know? That's what it is. Tiffany says, you answered that so eloquently, Zach. Listen, I tried. I was like, but listen, that's not like a bullshit answer either. Like, I roll my eyes at the they them pronoun bullshit. But like, so I will always give it to you straight. I'll always keep it 100. But I do know with these heavier topics, there is a level of tact and respect that I want to have, because I understand my audience ranges. all across the political spectrum, and has different viewpoints, and I welcome all and everyone's political viewpoints, you know? So, and listen, and I agree. We should absolutely, start to dismantle gender norms. I think, the boys like cars and girls like Barbie dolls and boys like blue and girls like pink, like all of that shit, I think is so those are societal norms that I think we can absolutely blur. And we can also, do what you want to do and do what makes you happy and live your life, right? But at the end of the day, I do agree there are only two genders. So that's my personal viewpoint. Um, so yeah. Okay. Where should we I hope that answered your question, Nicole. If you have a follow-up, you can drop another 100 for me. Okay. Okay, let's talk Traitors. The Traitors. So, Dorinda Medley was just on Jimmy Fallon. Just heads up, spoilers ahead for the Traitors. Spoilers ahead. So just FYI. Dorinda Medley was on Jimmy Fallon and she was talking about her dun dun dun, dun elimination from the Traitors. Because if you've watched the Traitors, the first 4 episodes are out now. Dorinda Medley is the first to be eliminated, or she was the first to be murdered by the Traitors. What is Traitors? Traitors it's a reality competition show. It's airing in the US on Peacock, but they do have they have like the UK version that's really popular. I believe the UK also has like an All Stars version. But so Traitors is a reality show into its 3rd season now. We have the new season that's airing on Peacock, Dorinda Medley. They have a bunch of like Survivor cast members, Big Brother cast members, Real Housewives, Bravo cast members, MTV's The Challenge people, all of that stuff. They all come here, and other just like popular figures, public figures, like Zac Efron's brother Dylan Efron is on there. We have King George's gay cousin is on it. We have Britney Spears' ex-husband is on it. Frankie Grande's friend is on it. So there are a few different people that are on the show. But so we had Dorinda Medley, who was the first to be murdered by the Traitors. Then we had Wells Adams, he's from the Bachelor Nation, married to Sarah Hyland. He was the second one. He was banished by the faithful. He was banished by the traitor. There's murdered by the traitors and there's banished by the faithful, I guess. The faithful are the ones that banished him. And then the second one murdered by the traitors was Ion. And then the second one banished was who's the bald guy? Let's see. Bald guy from Traitors. What's his name? Traitors US season 3 cast. Who is he? What was his name? Because that was a good one. There's Bob Harper. We have Wes. I'm very excited that Wes has joined the competition. What is his name? The bald guy. What's his name, you guys? I'm trying to find him. NJ. Okay. Here's his face. He's like on Survivor or something, or is he Big Brother? He's in one of those. There's Dorinda Medley. Wells Adams was banished. Chanel Ayan was murdered. And then Tony Vlachos, he was banished by the Traitors. Where is he from? Tony. He was banished. Is he from? He has to be from Survivor. Yeah. Oh, he's one of the most cutthroat Survivor players. Yep. So he was banished. And then we have Jeremy. Jeremy, he was also from Survivor. He was murdered by the Traitors. And then the final banishment that we've seen on the show so far, they banished Bob the drag queen, who was a traitor. So he was caught out. They discovered that Bob the drag queen is a traitor, and they banished him from the castle in Scotland. Look at the chat, Zach. Oh, Tony. Sorry, I was trying to Google it. Tony. Yep. Sorry, guys. Yes, his name is Tony from Survivor. He was a cutie. He looks like that guy from Selling Sunset. What's his name? The Oppenheim brothers. That's what he looks like a taller, older like the older brother of the Oppenheim brothers, right? The like, Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guilds, and the Oppenheim brothers. They're like, we're gonna run down the yellow brick road and build a new house or buy a new house in Oz. Selling Oz is gonna be their next spinoff because they're so tiny, they're so cute. I just want to put them in my pocket. But so yeah, he looks just like them, just like taller, right? So he could be like their older brother. Or the younger brother. Like, look at Barron Trump. He's like huge. He's like so tall. He's way taller than little Don Jr. Don Jr. looks like he gonna be running down the yellow brick road. How tall is Don Jr.? How tall is Don? Okay, how tall? Well, the first question is how tall is Barron Trump? He's 6'7". Jesus Cristo. How tall is? Oh, Don Jr. is only 6'1", so he's tall. But listen, next to Barron, 6'7" is crazy. Brian says Bob was set up by the Traitors, not saying by who. Oh, well, he was set up by Boston Rob. Boston Rob, cutthroat, like hardcore. Boston Rob came to slay. And so he came in as the fourth traitor, came in and just stabbed Bob Harper, or not Bob Harper, Bob the drag queen in the heart. Like crazy. Like that was a wild way to get the game started off because he knew who the traitor was. And so he immediately targeted Bob the drag queen. But then that put a target on him because people are like, how do you know that he's the traitor? How do you know that he's the traitor? He's like, I guarantee you, I promise you. And if he's not, then you can vote me out next week. He was so certain, and it's his certainty that ultimately I think is going to expose him as a traitor, and he's not going to make it all the way. I don't think he's that smart. Well, I think he's smart, but it's a different game, right? Like even Dorinda, she was on Jimmy Fallon and she was talking about how she's like, yeah, I had all these strategies and I had my strategies. She said she read The Art of War, which I'm like, oh, I want to read The Art of War next. And she's like, I had every day in my hotel room, I had all my strategies up on the board. And I was like, listen, you should sure as hell shocked me because I watched that and I was like, shit, like that's crazy. Because you did not play a tactical game at all. Like she was not smart in anything. Um, Bob threw suspicions on Rob, so that's why. Yeah. So yeah. Ooh, look at Laura and Christy Buffenmeyer said thank you for being you. They've been members for 10 months. Wow. Thank you for being a member of the Zack Pack. Norma said, had to call out Bob the drag queen because Bob the drag queen placed a target on him. Yeah, listen, and at the end of the day, it's a game. Because I saw people and they were like, oh, look, it's the same thing as last season. Remember when Trishelle targeted Peppermint, and now we have Boston Rob targeting Bob the drag queen. Why are they always targeting, the queer people of color on the show? And then there's this article about how you have to beware of the straighters, all the straight bros on the Traitors. And I was like, guys, can we stop with this bullshit already? Like, it's a game. Bob the drag queen was one of the biggest threats. That's actually a compliment. Of all of the Traitors, the two strongest Traitors there were Bob the drag queen and Boston Rob. So if they were going to go at each other, it only made sense. So there we go. Like I said, I can't stand the victim mentality. That's like for me, as a gay man, as a Hispanic gay man, I don't like to lean into the victim mentality. So I never like to have people or to allow people to pigeonhole me into that victim mentality. I think that's why I call it out so often, but it was just dumb. Norma says, I agree. It's not a straighter, it's a strategy. Exactly. And listen, the straight bros that we see on these shows are guys that come from shows like Big Brother, The Challenge, and Survivor. Those are cutthroat games. These are gamers. Wes, total gamer. He's from The Challenge. He's won so many times. Boston Rob, cutthroat player. Tony, cutthroat player. Yes, they happen to be straight men, but they, were some of the best that performed in those other competition reality shows. So, sorry, not sorry. But yeah, Bob the Drag, that was wild and ruthless. And you can just tell the players that they brought in this season, like Tony, like Wes, like Bob, or not Bob, Boston Rob, sorry. Boston Rob, like these guys came to play. That's what's good. I don't like that they're getting rid of all the Bravo people because I think you need a mix of the gamers and the personalities. Getting rid of Dorinda and Chanel, Ayan, and Bob the drag queen. Like those are charismatic personalities. Those are people, but again, they also make themselves a target because people want to make sure they're the star of the show. All things to think about, which is why I think Bob the drag queen wanted to take out Dorinda first because he knew that was a dumb move to take out Dorinda. Dumb. Literally the dumbest move the Traitors could have made early on. It was just not a smart long-term strategy. Because listen, you want to stay in the game as long as possible. So you want to have as many shields in front of you as possible. Dorinda was the perfect shield because she kept running her mouth. People were already becoming suspicious of her, that it would have been great to let her be the shield, and then the Traitors would have gotten off for the next couple of episodes. And then there would have been no confusion as to who the Traitors are. So Boston Rob wouldn't have been able to turn the tables on Bob the drag queen because everybody would have been focused on Dorinda. You know, they could have pinned everything under it. Yeah, look at Kate Chastain when she was on the show. Like, you know, it's wild. Ellie K says Sandoval's performing at a casino by me in a couple of months. Are you going to go? Listen, Sandoval's out here with his out here with his shows at the city wineries that I've been seeing with him like singing. He was just singing a cappella at the at one of the city wineries. He was singing Schwartz's mom has gotta go. Look at let me see if I can find the video of Tom Sandoval singing. Yeah. You know, I get it. It's fun and we want to make it engaging for the people, but I'm also like, ooh, that's a choice. That's a decision that we made. Um, you know, it was a little feisty, a little shocking, a little interessante. Like, okay, because that's what we're doing now, you know? Not my favorite performance. So if you want to go see Tom Sandoval, that's a preview of what you might get. Laviana says, well, at least the people were feeling him. Yeah, listen, they come and they're having a good time, right? I think anybody that's paying is not expecting Tom Sandoval to like bang it out a cappella and like nail it like Adele. You're there for the fun. You're having drinks. You're having a good time. He's not great though. You know, why do you punish us? I'm sorry. Norma says Tom Sandoval adds nothing to the Traitors. He has such a dull personality. He needs the Schwartzy to look interesting. Well, we haven't seen what he can bring, right? He was on Special Forces. Did he do another reality show? I don't think so. So I don't think that we've given him a chance to show us what he's got yet. Okay. And that's kind of how it is for a lot of these players, right? Like usually the ones that have the biggest personalities up front, they're the ones that get eliminated early on, and then the others start to come through and shine. So we'll have to wait and see what he brings to the table. He doesn't bring anything yet. I agree. He hasn't brought much but his sweaty armpits. And I don't care for the sweaty armpits because it's not a cute look. Now that once people point it out, and I'm like, my God, like what? Like, how have people not thought he was a traitor with his sweaty armpits? Like, hello, you can be like, why are you sweating so much? Are you nervous? Are you a traitor? Like, I would have been the first one in there, been like, look at you, sweaty armpits. What do you got to say for yourself? You know, especially if I was a traitor, I would point out the sweaty armpits so fast. So yeah. Brittany says, important question, Dylan or Zac Efron? For me, it's Dylan all the way. I will say, Zac Efron was a crush that I had. Used to love him in High School Musical. He was a hottie. Now he just looks kind of baked, right? He's like very red and a little too swole, and his eyes kind of bulge a little bit. And his whole once he like had the jaw surgery, I know he like fell and like had to have his jaw reconstructed, but it's not a flattering jaw, if we're being honest. So I absolutely will go with Dylan Efron all the way. And I loved when Dolores defended Zac Efron because Dylan's like, listen, I grew up with an actor. I can tell that you're a good actor, Bob. And Bob's like, not a good actor. You didn't grow up with a good one. And then Dolores is like, that's not nice. And then she went up to Dylan after and she's like, your brother's a great actor. Dolores is just so homely. I think Dolores lasts a long time. I think she makes it pretty far. So we'll have to wait and see. But like arguably you can say Dolores brings nothing to the show because she hasn't been a standout just yet. So we'll wait. Norma said, "I just died, not the sweaty armpit." Listen, watch it back. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Sandy says Baron is 6'9". Well, the internet says the Baron is 6'7". So I don't know. Listen, I know that's another big controversial debate is do 3 more inches matter? Do you want 3 more inches? Yes or no? So I don't know. 6'7", 6'9", IDK. Marianne Stout says, get Botox in the pits and no more sweat marks. Yeah. Teeth are so big. My teeth are so big? My teeth aren't big. My teeth are real. Jeez. You don't like my teeth? Dr. Gabe did my teeth. He straightened them with Invisalign. The rumors of Zac Efron being a yacht boy are interesting. There are rumors that Zac Efron is a yacht boy. What are yacht boys? Like they do dirty things to the old men on yachts? What is a yacht boy exactly? Marianne Stout says, Daddy says 6'7". Okay. Remember your teeth before. Shelby. Listen, my teeth are fixed. So, yes, I do remember how fucked up my teeth were before. Okay. Oh, hold on. I need a better ochre. Okay. Lavanya says, the more inches, the merrier. August said, your teeth look good. Thank you. Because Shelby just wants us to remember what my teeth looked like before. Norma says, girth is worth. That's where the inches matter, is in girth. Bravo, babe. I try to Google and cannot find the latest tea. Bravo, babe. Is it in the news? What is Bravo, babe saying? Your teeth are beautiful. Thank you, Lizzie. My teeth are real, too. They're all natural. I've considered getting veneers, but I don't know. I think I might be a little too young for veneers. What did Bravo, babe say? Bravo, babe said, oh my God, the Blake and Justin tea that just dropped. What's the tea? What's the tea? Where's the tea? The Invisalign did a good job. They look great. Thank you, Marianne Stout. Bravo, babe. Text me the tea. What just happened? She said it's Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively. Oh, whose line? The Daily Mail said, whose line? Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni? Shocking. It ends with us clip reveals the truth about the abuse claims. What? OMG. Should we do share screen? Should we watch this live? Are we going to share screen? Let's share screen. Do not get veneers. Your teeth are perfect now. Thank you. Real good looking teeth. Thank you. You should have seen what they looked like before. Okay, let's do share screen and let's watch this together. Okay. I don't want to watch the advertisement, but I want to see what's happening. Okay. Share screen. Whose line? Let's do this. You are my fire, the one desire. Can you see the screen? Is it working? There we go. Okay, let's watch. Daily Mail, why are you taking forever to load? Let's see. Why is it not working? Can I play it on my phone? Oh, here we go. Just gotta shut down. We're gonna go on insurance month and just deal with that. And just kidding. No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny's late too. Oh. So it's not that juicy of a clip. Danielle, Zack, very good. So it's a clip of them on set and they're kind of laughing together. But what is the actually? Oh, here it is.
We're gonna call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then
Cut.
just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny Slate too. Our noses are
Okay. I don't know why the Daily Mail site is acting up. But it's
so nosy.
And,
noses.
and my nose is so big.
Yes. I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late.
she's touching him.
Just gotta shut down. We're gonna call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then
Cut.
just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny Slate too. Our noses are
Interesting. Okay, so you saw the clip. And it's basically it's interesting. So Justin Baldoni is really going hard and showing that she's okay. So let's see what the Daily Mail has to say from that she was flirting. She wants it. That's what it looks like, right? That's what it looks like. Brian, it was something about Zach's beautiful teeth. Oh, what did Brian have to say? Just stepped away. How did we get on veneers? Anal bleaching. You just need a what do you call it? A Crest white strip, and then you can easily bleach your butthole. Okay, it says it was one of the biggest bombshells packed full of them that Justin Baldoni sexually harassed Blake Lively while filming a dance scene by dragging his lips down her neck and telling her it smells good. In her civil rights complaint filed last month, the actress 37 insisted that nobody overheard the comment because the romantic montage was silent and the mics were switched off. But the Daily Mail can reveal that the 40-year-old Baldoni's sound equipment was switched on and has exclusively obtained an explosive video showing all 3 takes that smashes Lively's claims into smithereen. The tapes show how friendly the 2 stars were before it all went wrong. They laugh and joke around, even joshing about the size of Baldoni's nose, and talk about how they spend their time with their spouses. They include a complete record of the conversation in question at around the 7-minute mark that makes it clear the comment about her smelling so good was in response to Lively talking about her spray tan as they film a romantic dance. Baldoni tells Lively he probably gets his beard on, and she responds by saying that she probably got spray tan on him. He quips back by saying it smells good, before both laugh, and she tells him the scent actually comes from her body makeup. And while the montage does indeed show Baldoni nuzzling Lively's neck as part of the scene in which they play lovers, the conversation between them is all business, with the pair spending most of the time talking about lighting and other halves. Ooh. Damn. The clip, which is raw footage, is raw footage shot while filming events with us, comes complete with audio, was passed to the Daily Mail by the actor's production company, Wayfair, and his lawyer, Brian Friedman, who's previously said Baldoni had nothing to hide. Daily Mail's exclusive footage and the latest revelation in a lengthy saga that began with rumors and ranking behind the scenes of It Ends With Us was it released last August. It then exploded over a legal battle. Okay. In turn, okay, and then it just recaps everything that went down. Here's the full. Okay, so the full clip is 9 minutes long. So that little brief bit. Wow. And we see she says, I'm probably gonna get spray tan on you. And he's like, it smells so good. He's like, I love it. She's like, oh yeah, Daddy. Damn. We're not going to watch the full 90-minute or for the full 9-minute clip. Sorry. We're already approaching our 1-minute mark. Wow, Bethany. Wow. Okay, maybe the 9 minutes is juicier. Well, apparently, according to the Daily Mail, then I'll watch it after this. But apparently, and I'll do a recap on Instagram Reels right after this. But those pits were hard to miss. Yeah, the Tom Sandoval pits. So yeah, wow, Bethany. Wow. Yeah, I tried telling you it was about 10 minutes. Juicy. Wow, Bethany. Wow. Can Blake get out of this? I don't know. I'm going to send it to Donna Bowling right now. I'm like, Donna, did you see this? Donna. Hey, Dana. Wow, Bethany. Wow. It's crazy. I'm going to send just do. I'm gonna send it to all my friends. It's just bananas, bonkers, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's go. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Can we see the sun? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Come on, everyone. So if you tell people they smell good, it's sexual harassment. I mean, I don't know. Okay, kids, shake hands and end this before you end all your careers. I mean, yeah. Do we get another Zack and Donna live in an hour? I don't know. I am a guy, so ladies, was she flirting with him? Yeah, what did you think? Was she I mean, it kind of seems like they were both flirting, right? Like they were a little flirty skirty. It's just kind of wild. Wild, wild, wild. Bananas bonkers crazy. Bananas bonkers crazy. Don't think these people watch the yearly SH video. But I mean, if you're playing lovers in a movie and you're like intimately together on camera, like doesn't that I don't know. Missy says, I think Zack was right that Blake is into him. Yeah. She didn't look harassed, that's for sure. See, so like we had the intimacy coordinator, which has been debunked at this point. We have the breastfeeding comment, which seems to be uh-oh. Did I get another cameo request from Cane Nips? You guys, this is crazy. I don't know who this person is. But they keep trying to buy a cameo from me. This person, Cane Nips. But like the things that they're asking me to say in this cameo are like ridiculously inappropriate. And book a cameo with me, but don't get crazy. He's like, I'm gonna chop off your nipples and put them in the freezer and eat them. And I'm like, ooh, I'm not gonna say that. So that feels like harassment. It was definitely flirting. Okay, so everyone agrees that like they were definitely flirting. So when he's like, "Ooh, I like the way you smell." That's what's creepy is the way that she positioned it was like that he sniffed her and was like, "Ooh, I love the way you smell." And she's like, "Oh, it's so creepy." And then you see the full clip in its full context. That's wild. Like truly, truly wild. Which is just it's just redonkulous. The editors who were friendly with Baldoni clearly leaked this in support of him. Justice. No, it sounds like they intentionally sent this, right? I don't think that this was a leak by any of the editors. It says that Brian Friedman, Baldoni's attorney, and Wayfair, which is his company, they willingly turned this footage over, which is great. I want to know what Nick Viall has to say about it now. Hi, Nick Viall. What do you have to say about it now, Nick Viall? Because the evidence is pretty overwhelming. It's pretty overwhelming. Norma says, I wouldn't take it as deep as a flirt. It's commonplace for people to jest like this on set. Yeah, like they're just kind of chilling, hanging out, you know? Called the birth photo pornography. Yep. Justin claimed this as evidence in the suit. Yep. We'll wait and see. I had a guy ask me, someone I know, what perfume I was wearing because he liked it. I thought it was normal. Nick Viall is a paid actor. I also hear that Nick Viall, like his podcast is sponsored by Mint Mobile. No, that's just what I'm hearing. I don't listen to his show, so I can't guarantee that that is true information. It's just what I've heard. Do you mean Nick Viall's ego? Clearly, he's got an ego. The bigger the ego, the smaller the dick. Last thing. Mary Cosby. I guess we'll just touch on this very lightly. I meant to talk about it more, but Mary Cosby says that the reason she decided to touch on her son's addiction on this season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is because someone had reached out to her and said that, well, I mean, here's the weird part. She says that she decided to let it air because someone reached out and was threatening to out that her son, Robert Jr., was in rehab. And so to get ahead of it, she wanted to make sure that she, squashed the beef. or not squashed the beef, but she got ahead of it and squashed the story. And so that way they couldn't, spill the tea in whatever tabloid that it was. And so she's like, so then I gave them permission to air it, but I was going back and forth. And I was like, well, I don't think you have control over whether that stuff airs or not. Like, how many times have we seen housewives film these scenes that they don't want to air? And Bravo's like, we're not going to listen to you. Sorry. So I'm glad that she was able to shut the tabloid down from the leak about rehab, but I don't know. I don't think Mary has any control over this stuff. Soon says, Zack, video of Baldoni and Blake on set just got released. Saw it on Popcornered Planet. Yeah, I know. We just watched it. Okay. Well, that's the Mary update. I'm glad that she got that shut down so that it didn't become a big scandal or story. Obviously, we talked about a lot more than what we were expecting. We had the Blake Lively footage, and then we had the Nicole's spicy political question. So yeah, if you're enjoying the show, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. I would really appreciate it. I love you guys. Your reviews really do help. Even if you don't want to write a full review, even if you just leave a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify, that really does help as well. Just keep leaving those 5 stars every time you listen to the podcast, and every chance you get to remember, just hit the 5 stars, give the rating, or write a detailed review if you would like to write something that's a little more personal about what you're enjoying about the show. I appreciate all of it. It helps with the rankings on the charts. We love the rankings on the charts. I've been pretty steady in the top 20. I'm number 20 right now on Apple and number 8, I believe, on Spotify. But please keep showing love. Keep showing that love. Love, 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 love. And then maybe I'll read some more tomorrow. Give you guys some shout outs. So be sure to leave a review today if you want a shout out. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. You can follow me always at Just Plain Zack all over the internet. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. Like this, hit the like button down below, and subscribe if you enjoy the show. Norma says, question, do we need to give you 5 stars on each podcast? If you want, you can leave as many 5-star ratings and reviews as you would like. They count every time. So even if you leave one weekly or whenever you listen on Apple, and you can just hit that 5 stars. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Drop comment below. Weigh in. Let me know your thoughts on all of the topics, from Dorinda to, if you want to talk about gender, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make me. Let's talk about gender. All right, guys. Brian says, if you are bleaching, Zack's got you covered. 5 stars. There you go. Holla. All right, guys. I love you. Appreciate you. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. Get ready. I'll be back tomorrow. Love you. Appreciate you. Let's get it. And can I just say happy next 4 years? Now I'm really trying to get canceled. All right, guys. Love you. Mean to talk to you later. Bye.